Alright, hello, I'm Silver Kyle, and it is time for another gaming update, which I have not done for about 2 years now, which is really weird because that is one of the easiest videos to do. I basically just talk about the games that I've been playing recently, and it was one of my favorite videos to do as well. So I really don't know. I think the reason why that I didn't do one is because in the past 2 years, I really haven't played a lot of different games. I kind of just stuck with a lot of the same ones that I kept playing over and over again. So that could be why. So I went back and tried to find all the games that I think were worth mentioning here. And now I'm going to try to have another gaming update every few months kind of thing. You know, every 2 to 3 months I think would be perfect. So we'll go with that. We'll see if it actually happens. I know I'm not going to wait another 2 years though for the next one. So let's start this off with a bang. Star Fox Zero on the Wii U. Now, I love Star Fox. Star Fox 64, the one on the Super Nintendo, just straight Star Fox. I haven't really played too much of the GameCube ones. I played a little bit of Star Fox Adventures. It was okay. Wasn't the greatest, wasn't exactly what I wanted from Star Fox. But this, you're back in the cockpit. But literally, because I really feel that this game, you literally have to look inside the cockpit the entire time on the Wii U gamepad to actually play this game. You can't look at the TV screen and watch yourself flying in the R-Wing or whatever the heck they're called. So you can't watch yourself in the ship like you used to with Star Fox 64, and now you are forced to look in the cockpit mode on the Wii U gamepad. So you're playing like this. So you might as well just be playing a handheld game. I hate this game. I cannot explain how much I despise this game, this creation, because the actual game itself is really fun. If you had regular controls and you didn't have to play in the cockpit. That's not the kind of way that I want to play the games. I like having the option because maybe there are some people that actually do like being in the cockpit of like vehicles or ships and things like that. And I understand that. There's a little bit of an appeal to that. I play that with Grand Theft Auto 5 every once in a while. So I understand that. But for me, Star Fox is being in that ship and seeing the ship in third-person view. That to me was Star Fox. You can't do that with this game. Well, you can, but like you really have to focus on what you're shooting at. And the other thing, the controls. You have to use the gamepad to move around, to have perfect accuracy. You can't just go like this. No. No. Motion controls. This game is atrocious. And I hate it because behind all of that, there's an actual good game. I could tell because like it's pretty much, once again, a remake of Star Fox 64. I don't know why they decided to do that. Like if I thought that this was going to be a new game, like a new entry into the series that happens after Star Fox 64 or something like that. But no, it's exactly Star Fox 64. We already got a remake of that on the 3DS, and it was damn near perfect. Why did they have to go and ruin it with this? Basically, it's like a little bit of a reimagining, I think, of Star Fox 64 with newer graphics in it, and it looks good. I mean, it's nothing compared to anything that's on the Xbox One or PlayStation 4 right now, or even at the beginning. Like this really did, but it was better than anything that we've seen for Star Fox before. So it looked very good in my eyes. But I just hated using the controls. I hated having to watch in the cockpit. I hated not being able to really look at my screen, my actual TV screen, and had to play in a handheld mode using motion controls. Can you tell I don't like this game? Yeah, Star Fox Zero. Don't pick it up. If you don't like motion controls and you don't like the idea of having to play in a cockpit and using the gamepad only, do not pick that game up ever. Even if you have every other game on the Wii U, or you have pretty much every other big game on the Wii U, or you're a big Star Fox fan. I'm a huge Star Fox fan, and I cannot recommend this to Star Fox fans. It's bad. I think that's the only bad game that I played. But yeah, beat it. It was a few hours long, and I just hated it. Next up is Super Mario Maker. This game I much more enjoyed. This is basically... if you like the old school of Mario games, this is perfect for you because all it is just an endless stream of 2D side-scrolling games over and over and over and over again, and they're all new because everybody has made so many different games. If that's your kind of thing, this is totally what you're after, or if you would like to create these, you can totally do that as well. I toyed around a little bit with how to create a level. I didn't particularly like it. That's just, I don't like building things in that sense. Like, I don't like building, I never thought of trying to build a 2D side scroller, so that's not my love for this game. It's just being able to play basically the original Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World, and Super Mario Bros. U. So you can kind of go back and forth between all these different eras of Mario and seeing all of them. It's a really cool game, and it's just I don't even know how many levels have been created by people out there. I don't think that this game came with anything that the creators made, because to beat the game, I had to just play games that other people had created, like courses that people had created. So pretty fun, but after a while, I had my fill of it. Certainly a recommendation, though, compared to Star Fox Zero. Next up, we have Fire Emblem Fates, and this is the special edition, which has so all three versions of the game. So I think Birthright, Conquest, and I'm trying to look at the other one. Revelations. Revelations is the other one. Revelations is kind of like Birthright and Conquest are like you pick two different sides, and you either go with your original family or your that you were raised with, or your biological family. And then Revelations, I believe, is right in the middle, that you kind of just show up and kind of like pick both sides, and or not really either sides. From what I've heard, I've only beaten, I don't remember which one I beat. Either Conquest or Birthright. I think Birthright is the one that I beat. And it was okay. It was very much, every battle was very much Fire Emblem. But I will say that Awakening had a better story. It also had Matt Mercer as a character of voicing one of the characters, one of the main characters. So that alone is worth the price of admission. I did think that some of the battles in Awakening were better than what I played in, I think it's Birthright that I played. So yeah, I still have to play Conquest and then Revelations as well. But at the moment, I'm not really wanting to jump back into this, because I do want to pick up the new Fire Emblem games that did come out recently on the 3DS, like a few months ago, which is like a remake of the second Fire Emblem ever. So I don't want to be too Fire Emblem burnt out, so I'm waiting to play that one. Now we got some Xbox One games. You know what's crazy? I have not played a PlayStation 4 game in 2 years. And I bought some. I have bought some. Like, just to show you, I have... I don't know why. Okay, I played a little bit of Ratchet and Clank because my girlfriend was playing this and it looked phenomenal, so I had to try it out. Really awesome game. I really actually want to go back to this very soon. Picked up Mighty Number 9. For cheap. Like, it's still sealed. I picked it up because I got it for 30% off when it first came out. So it was like $20. But then I just heard everything bad about it, so I was like, I'm not going to jump into that right away. I picked up Nier Automata. Haven't played the first one, so I kind of wanted to do that first before I jumped into this one. Same thing, I got this one on 30% off as well. That's why I ended up getting it. I got Final Fantasy 15 from Walmart last year, I believe, for half off. And I also got World of Final Fantasy. And I haven't been able to get into these, and I really want to. I'll explain why I haven't in a second. So I picked up PlayStation 4 games. I just haven't had the chance to really play any of them. Xbox One, Grand Theft Auto 5. Picked this up not too... Like, it's been a while. Have I had it for a year? I think I got it at Christmas. Love it. It's exactly Grand Theft Auto 5 that I played on PlayStation 3. But remastered and revamped for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. And you can also have first-person mode, which, as I said, in Star Fox, I don't want it as the exact thing that you have to do, but I like it as an option, and I do once in a while go into it because it's very different. I don't play the entire game that way, but I like going and switching it up once in a while. Other than that, it's pretty much the exact same game that you had on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, just prettier. So I played quite a few missions. Didn't beat the game again yet. And just obviously fooled around so much in the game. That's the main thing and the appeal to Grand Theft Auto. Also, Red Dead Redemption 2, the new trailer released today, looks fantastic. Cannot wait for that game. So anyway, yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5, excellent game. Just if you really like open world games and if you like the Grand Theft Auto series, you have to pick this game up. It's probably not the best story, but there's positives and negatives to the story. It's yeah, that would be a whole other video. But yes, Grand Theft Auto 5, excellent. I also played a lot of it online with my friend Jason, and that is just insane chaos. Sometimes we're just having these blood wars with other people online, and we're just like working together to try to kill them as they're trying to kill other people as well. So sometimes like me and Jason, and sometimes Kevin. I know we haven't played with Kevin yet, or we did at the very beginning, and it would just be like a bunch of us versus a bunch of other people, and other people would just be walking by at the same time, like other players that didn't have like a gang. Not we weren't a gang. We were running around in the world as if we were, and so were other people. And then once in a while there'd be somebody that didn't, and they would just get into the crossfire. And it was just so much fun, ridiculous amounts of fun with Grand Theft Auto. Next up is probably the reason why I haven't played Final Fantasy 15 and World of Final Fantasy, because I don't like playing too many RPGs at the same time, although this is a little bit different from Final Fantasy. Well, it's an open world. Skyrim. Need I say more? This is my favorite game of all time, and they remade it for the Xbox One / PS4, so it looks prettier than it did before. And also mods have been included in the console versions, which is just an awesome idea, because I'm not very much of a PC gamer for these kinds of games. I prefer the controller. I prefer the ease of it's just so much easier to be playing on a console without having to worry about having a really beefed up computer constantly. So yeah, to me this was just a gift from the gods, really. And I've created like 3 different characters, and they're all doing these different things. I have a wizard, I have an assassin, and I have just a fighter, basically. And 2 of them are kind of going more the Imperial route, and one of them is going with the Stormcloaks. So I don't know. Just hearing the music again in this game when I first opened it up was such a treat. It's really hard to describe the feelings that I get from playing Skyrim, because it is everything that I want in an open world game. Open world games, I think, are my favorite type of game, and considering that this is an open world RPG, I fall completely in love with it. The score for every soundtrack that they have in this game also just it makes me feel like I'm watching a movie, and that I'm really there. It's just really weird how music can make you think that it's more real, when in real life you do not have music playing as you walk through towns or something. But it gives that extra effect to it, that extra aura, that atmosphere. Just a fantastic, fantastic game. And I also have not played any of the add-ons, the extensions that they had for Skyrim originally, so I'm really looking forward to those. Master vampires are just ridiculously overpowered. But they're awesome to kill, and it's just, once again, chaos when they start coming into... You come into town, and the vampires are just attacking the town, and the townsfolk are attacking them, and you're like, oh, I'm getting in on this. Love it, love it. I just wish that there was more that you could do. I cannot wait for Elder Scrolls 6. That, to me, would just be insane. Okay, next up, Gears of War Ultimate Edition, replayed, which is basically the Gears of War 1. I'm replaying a lot of games, aren't I? Grand Theft Auto, Star Fox, Skyrim, Gears of War. Played through it. Didn't enjoy it as much as I did the first time around, but that was back in, 2006? So 11 years ago was when I first played this game. And back then I hadn't played nearly as many games. Still a very good, enjoyable game. Enjoyed my time with this, but back then it was like one of my favorite games. Now it's not. Still very good though. Another game that I sunk a ton of time in, and I don't remember if I talked about this in my last gaming update, but if I hadn't, or even if I had, I probably played a lot more with this afterwards. Playing with Kevin and Jason and just building our worlds. I remember for quite a long time we were kind of in this cave that we were constantly working on, and we were then making it like go to the heavens and things like that. And then we would always, at nighttime we don't want to be building, because then you can attack, the monsters can attack, which adds a lot more fun to the game as well. But we were just strictly wanting to build on these days. Like we've had days where we just built for 12 hours. Like that's all we did that day, was play Minecraft and eat. And then when we would go to bed. That's everything. But in the game, if you have all your characters go into a bed, they will actually fall asleep, so you can wake up the next morning and start building again without the hassle of having all the monsters around. So we would do that all the time. But eventually I wanted to kind of do my own thing. So what I ended up doing is in my room, when I created like a secret wall, as in like basically I just made like a path for myself to leave the room if I took down 2 pieces of the wall and then put them back up. And then I had like this path that led me outside, and I started like much further downside, and I started creating my own little building over there. And then eventually, like they're on the big, gigantic building that we're working on originally that's going towards the heavens and just really wide, and it's like going up in a circle, and they're on top of it, and they see like this other building starting to form like further down from them, and they're like, because I built after a mountain, but now they were finally getting to the point where they're above the mountain and they could see me building it. So they're like, what the hell are you doing? And then they eventually found out that's how I was leaving them every time. Like they'd go out and start working, and I would just break down the wall, put the wall back, run away, and then build my own thing. Like I think that is part of the thing about Minecraft that, you know, you can't expect to happen. It's just things that kind of happen as you're playing the game, just literal adventures. I remember also we wanted to see how far the map could go, so we all ended up taking all our weapons and stuff and putting them away, and we just had our basic armor and like 1 or 2 weapons, like very basic stuff, so if we died it wasn't a big thing. And we took boats and we just went across and just explored everything. So much fun. It's just, like I said, it's little adventures that you have in this game that really bring the game to life. And I really want it on the Switch, but I only want to pick it up if they have it on physical. Anyway, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Excellent game. Not as good as the first one, but close. In terms of the adventure, it like the gameplay, very close. The storyline to me was a little bit better in the first one. I just felt that like I like the idea of being stranded on an island, and that was also like Laura's kind of like awakening for, you know, she didn't really want to kill people. So we had seen a lot of the things in the first one. So the sequel is more of the same, which isn't a bad thing, but it just doesn't captivate me as much as the first one did. But amazing game. If you like the Uncharted games, you have to pick up the original reboot of the Tomb Raider from 2013, I believe, or 2014. I think it's 2013, and Rise of the Tomb Raider. Rare Replay. Bunch of awesome games. Probably the reason why I picked this game up, though, was for Viva Pinata. Playing a simulation with a bunch of animal pinatas, and you kind of grow your little ecosystem with them. Sign me up for that. I love that kind of stuff. Rainbow Six Siege. This is pretty much what I expected. But I wish that there would have actually been an actual single-player campaign. Like, they have, like, training missions that kind of constitute as that, but not really. Because I think that there was... It's a lot of fun, but I still expected more from this. And you really do have to... I do prefer this kind of game style over run and gun, though. Like, you have to really worry about... slowly going in, using tactics, using everybody else with you, like not just going in by yourself, guns blazing, that doesn't get you killed. You really have to figure out, okay, is there traps and things here? Let's go in over here. Where are the enemy? How many of them are left? Is there still 5 of them? How many are we down? And then if you start seeing that like it's 5 versus 3 and you're on the 3 side, you're like, we're dead. We can't beat 5 people. We're only 3. And then you do, and you're like, this is amazing. Yeah, so it's just... and then if you die, you're out for the entire round until the next round starts. And then you go... It goes back and forth from offense and defense. This is my kind of game. I just wish that maybe the maps were a little bit more interesting. And maybe it felt more real. I can't quite explain it more than that, but it doesn't feel necessarily real. It kind of feels like you're just in the very basics of these block buildings, if that makes any sense at all. But it might be hard to do that if considering that you can just blow up so many walls and things. So if they made it more realistic, it might not work out as well. Next up is Destiny, the original vanilla game, Destiny 1. Played this with Kevin and Jason because you can only play 3 players, so that kind of worked out. Enjoyed my time with this. We beat it, and I think I would eventually pick up the Ultimate Edition of this, whatever the heck that is, that has all the expansions, because then now I think it's worth it. I picked it up for like $10, and for $10, totally worth it. I don't think I would pay too much more for it. Same thing, like I'm not going to go crazy with Destiny 2 yet. I still want to pick up the expansions for Destiny 1, play through those because they'll be a lot cheaper, and then eventually pick up Destiny 2. And at that point, I might just wait for the Ultimate Edition of that one as well. Okay, last hurrah here. Basically, my Switch games, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, did beat this. I did talk about, I had like a little mini review of this game when I went through the first 50 or so hours. I can't remember how many hours I was. Beat the game at 90 plus hours, and I got all 120 shrines. I did use a map eventually at the end because it was just too ridiculous. If you don't have a Switch, but you're a major fan of Legend of Zelda, I think you... Or if you have a Wii U, you have to pick this game up. You don't necessarily need the Switch for this, but if you don't have a Wii U and you're thinking about getting the Switch and you're really a big fan of Nintendo games, this game alone is worth it. And then I'm going to talk about 2 other games that are very good as well. And there's more coming soon. But you have to get this game. This is one of the best games that I've ever played. Not the best, mainly because of the rain. The rain just is absolutely atrocious. If you haven't seen my review, I did say that, like, basically you have stamina in this game, and if you're climbing a tree, it requires stamina. You can climb, or anything. You can climb buildings, you can climb anything. Mountains, which is really awesome. But as you're climbing, if it starts to rain, you start slipping. And it happens all the time when you're climbing this really high ridge or something like that, and you won't be able to make it up all the way. With the slippage of the rain, like you take 2 steps and then you'll slide down 5. You take another 2 steps, you'll slide down 5. You can actually make it a way so that if you jump, you can get a little bit further. Like you won't slide as much. Like you can make, I think it's like 5 steps, slide down 4, 5 steps, slide down 4 kind of thing. But you have stamina, so once you run out of stamina, you just drop. It's annoying. But other than that, amazing game. The shrines are kind of like mini dungeons each. Some of them can take up to like 15, 20 minutes. Very few of them are 20 minutes, but yeah, 120 of these. Just awesome puzzles, and they give you everything that you need to beat this game within the first hour of the game. It's awesome. Loved my time with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Beat this on 50cc and didn't just played a load of it online. More Mario Kart. If you like Mario Kart, obviously this is... You don't have to pick it up, but if you want to play a good racing game on the Switch, Mario Kart is where it's at. Although we've already had it on the Wii U, but if you haven't played it, if you don't have a Wii U, because that's the thing I think, is that if you didn't have a Wii U, the Switch brought a lot of their is kind of wanting to bring a lot of their bigger games to it. And last but not least, Splatoon 2. Have not had a chance to play the single-player campaign at all in this. Just strictly been playing online. Still tons of fun. I will say that the maps in Splatoon 1 are better, but the guns and the more so the specials are a little bit more interesting with Splatoon 2. But I'm mainly enjoying it because my girlfriend also has a Switch, and we've been playing it together. And this is the first game that we officially could play together on different screens. Because we play a lot of co-op games, but you're sharing the same screen, so that's really cool. We've played a few times with Kevin and Jason as well, so we had 4 of us. The only thing that sucks is I think that we play in a lot of the public games, and in the public games it switches back and forth, so you're constantly changing teams. So it's rare that we're all 4 of us on the same team. But yeah, Splatoon 2. If you like the first one, you're gonna like the second one. It's more of the same, really. Just the maps aren't as good, and there's a horn honking outside, so I think that's a good time to end it. So that is what I've been playing. Hopefully I get back on track with everything after this. So thank you all for watching. You've been Bearded In.
Beardage!